Hello, snowboarders of the internet. I'm your host, Kevin Hub, here for a review of the Ravine. So the Ravine comes in, so the camber on the Ravine is basically just traditional camber that's a little bit set back from center, and then Rome is using a 3D kind of base shape in the nose that helps kind of push snow out from underneath the board instead of just pushing it out of the way. Kind of funnels off the sides here. It just makes it a little bit surfier in deep snow, and then it also just helps that big fat nose get up on edge a little bit quicker on hardpack. I've ridden this board a bunch of different places so far already. I rode it in Canada at Red Mountain. Thanks for that, Rome. I rode it at Copper for SAA, and on my personal one, the one you just saw over here, I rode that at Breck a couple days. I've ridden it in POW, I've ridden it in Chunder, I've ridden it on ice, and I've ridden it on like just regular like packed groomers. So I've put it through the paces. I've ridden this thing in a ton of different terrain on a ton of different snow conditions. So I've ridden this with a couple different bindings as well. The bindings I've been riding on it most recently are my couple-year-old K2 Lean FS, the ones before the high back got useless and too soft. And then I've also ridden it with Rome Katanas. Both have been good matches, a little bit different feel between the two of them. The leans are going to be a little bit softer, the Katanas a little stiffer, a little more responsive. I've ridden it with my Burton Almighties as well as my Ride Fuses. So really throwing this board through a bunch of different setups to really get an idea of what it likes to do and how it likes to do it. The flex on this starts a little bit stiffer in the tail. You can kind of see these little bumpy things right there. For one, those are on a lot of Rome boards and they're supposed to be there. So when you go into a shop, you're looking at Rome stuff and you see these little look like blemishes in the top sheet, those are actually the pop sticks. These are carbon on this one and they run from the insert pack out towards the contact points basically. Helps stiffen up the tail both torsionally and just gives it a little more snap and a little more power. Moving on from that little bit stiffer tail to underfoot, pretty average flex underfoot for your kind of just general purpose all mountain board, kind of like I talked about earlier. Overall, that's where that board lands. A little bit softer between the feet, matching torsional give, right around that mid-flex with torsional give, and then softens up pretty much throughout the whole nose until a point where you get a pretty soft nose to it, and that's just gonna get it to deflect up in deep snow. It's just gonna sit right up there, and it makes it super playful in the nose. Nose butters and pow on this thing, so very nice. Putting all that together with the flex, the stability on this is more of that active flex. It's definitely not gonna be a super damp board. It's reactive, it's gonna give you feedback, you're gonna know what you're riding over, but at high speeds, blasting through stuff, it still holds its own. Throw your weight a little bit more onto that back foot, get onto that backseat camber, get into those carbon sticks in the tail, and it's gonna hold on, it's gonna save you, it's not gonna buck you. It holds its line pretty decently well through chop and chunder. If you're going Mach 9 through a chunder death cookie field, yeah, you're gonna feel it, you're gonna get bounced around a little bit, but it's not uncontrollable and it's not unruly, but it is more of that freestyle flex, so keep that in mind when you're looking at it. The snap on this, just like I talked about with the flex, comes out of those carbon sticks that run from the inserts out to the contact points. Rome's been using this pop technology for a number of years now, and it works really, really well. So for this being not your super aggressive freeride board and more kind of towards that all-mountain freestyle flex, it's got a pretty good amount of snap to it. It's not overbearing, it's not gonna boost you to the moon like crazy. It's just super predictable, and for a board like this, that's actually honestly what I'd prefer. Having a board that's got just massive amounts of snap and pop to it can sometimes send you really deeper than you want to go. And when you're riding the type of terrain that you're really trying to aim for with a board like the Ravine, sending it too far can kind of be a big problem. So I actually prefer a board to have average pop, which is actually very much a good thing for me with this board. Those carbon sticks really give you everything you need out of this. I've never not gotten the snap I needed out of this board, but it's also never sent me further than I really needed to go, which is perfect for me for this type of deck. This board being more of that all-mountain freestyle flex, it butters really, really fun. Like I said earlier, talking about the flex on this thing, the nose butters and pow are awesome. That soft, big, huge micro spoon nose to it, you just lay into it, throw your whole weight into it, and it just sprays, comes around so nice. It's awesome. The tail is not an overbearing, gnarly flex. Those carbon sticks in there though, you gotta watch it. If you just push into it too quick, they're gonna snap back. It's gonna push you back out of that a little bit. So just kind of get into it a little bit softer and a little bit slower, and that tail butters just fine. Carving on this was really what sold me on the Ravine over most of the other boards in this category. Rome is kind of the underdog, in my opinion, in side cuts. I think most of their side cuts on their boards are actually extremely dialed, and I've had a ton of fun turning on pretty much any board I've ever got on from them. So Ravine is no different. It does short, super quick carves really well. If you just want to lay on that back foot and just take that turn across the entire run and go in Mach 9, it'll do that too. So really any kind of turn shape you want to get at this, it likes to do it. It has that little bit softer torsional flex. It's not crazy demanding stiff, so it doesn't take a lot of effort to do it either. Rome basically bills this as their freestyle POW deck. That is what they've put it out there as. That's what a lot of their team is writing it as, is their freestyle POW board if they don't have a pro model of their own already. And that's where it lands nicely, I think. So if you're looking for just a cruiser, if you're still just kind of cruising groomers, if you're not looking for something crazy demanding, searching out POW in the trees, that kind of thing, that's really where this thing shines. The one that I have here, this is actually my board. That should tell you a lot about it from my personal thoughts, because I have one. And this one's mine. The other thing about it, by the way, as a side note, the Syndicate graphic, yeah, you can't have one of those. It's limited run. They've basically only made it for Rome dudes and people like me, so sorry about you. You get the standard graphic right over here. But I think standard graphic still looks decent, but just know you can't get the fancy graphic. But yeah, the Ravine's awesome. I really like this board. It's got a really good side cut. If you haven't figured out yet, I really like to carve. We do a segment called Can Kevin Carve It? So that's what I like to do. I like to just rip turns all the time in all conditions, and this board's really good for that. It turns awesome in deep snow. It's super fun in deep snow. It floats really well. It's not crazy stiff, so I can get out there and have fun in any condition on it and get it into the trees. And because it doesn't have that crazy demanding flex to it, it's awesome in the trees. It's super nimble. It's just kind of good everywhere if I'm not looking for a twin or to go rip park on, basically. So if I'm not doing either one of those two things, this has kind of been my go-to so far this season, and I kind of see it staying that way for the rest of the year. Some comparable boards to the Rome Ravine are the Burton Flight Attendant, the Lago Open Road, and the Arbor Clovis. Thanks for watching. I've been your host, Kevin. Have you been on the Ravine yet? Are you looking at getting one of these? Leave me some comments. If you have any further questions of what I'm talking about with this board, same thing, leave some comments. While you're doing that, make sure you're clicking the subscribe button and smash that bell while you're at it so you get notifications that we got more reviews and more video projects coming out. And if you're new around here, check out Angry Snowboarder VIP. It is the best way to support us, support this whole thing of Angry Snowboarder, and keep these kinds of projects coming to you. Come back and check me in the next video.